Here's a thought that might sound crazy. What if trying to feel abundant while you're drowning in debt is exactly what's keeping you broke? I know this sounds backwards. After all, every law of attraction teacher tells you to act as if and feel the abundance now. But what if that advice is actually making things worse? I'm going to share why I stopped trying to feel rich while I was broke and how that counterintuitive shift is what finally allowed money to flow into my life effortlessly. And I've got about 10 minutes to show you exactly how this works. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Trevor, and I spent the better part of 30 years struggling with money despite having a decent job. I was one of those people who got paid and somehow the money was gone before the next payday. I tried every abundance technique in the book: gratitude journals, visualization, affirmations about being wealthy. But here's the thing, when you're choosing between paying the mortgage or buying food, trying to feel abundant feels like lying to yourself. And that internal conflict, that's what keeps you stuck. Eventually I discovered that manifesting money doesn't require any techniques at all. It's actually about effortlessness, not effort. And if you'd like to discover more about this approach, I've created a free 10-minute masterclass called Effortless Money Manifesting that goes much deeper into these ideas. You'll find the link at the top of the description below this video. Let me paint you a picture of where I was. There I was, recently divorced, facing the very real possibility of losing my home because I couldn't afford the mortgage payments on my own. Every law of attraction book I'd read told me the same thing. Feel as if you already have the money. Act abundant. Raise your vibration to match wealth. So, I'd stand in my kitchen looking at the stack of unpaid bills, trying to feel grateful for my abundance. I'd visualize money flowing to me while my stomach growled because I'd chosen to pay the mortgage instead of buying groceries that week. Can you see the problem? I was trying to convince myself I felt rich while living the reality of being broke. It's like trying to feel warm while standing naked in a snowstorm. The harder I tried to feel abundant, the more aware I became of how broke I actually was. And here's what nobody tells you about this internal conflict. It's exhausting. You're using all your mental energy trying to maintain a feeling that doesn't match your reality. It's like trying to hold two opposing thoughts at the same time. I am abundant, while looking at an empty bank account. Then something happened that changed everything. I gave up. Not on life, not on having money, but on trying to manufacture feelings of abundance while living in scarcity. I remember the exact moment. I was sitting at my kitchen table, surrounded by bills I couldn't pay, and I just stopped. I stopped trying to feel grateful for money I didn't have. I stopped visualizing abundance while my bank account showed otherwise. I stopped pretending. Instead, I did something that felt almost rebellious. I accepted where I was. I said, okay, I'm broke. I can't pay the mortgage. Let them do their worst. Now, this wasn't giving up on having money. It was giving up on the exhausting effort of trying to feel rich while being poor. And here's what's fascinating. The moment I stopped trying to feel abundant, something shifted. I wasn't fighting reality anymore. I wasn't using my mental energy trying to convince myself of something that felt untrue. That's when the most ridiculous series of coincidences began. I went for a drink with an old neighbour, something I never would have done when I was busy trying to manifest abundance at home. His old school friend walked into the pub, someone he hadn't seen in 20 years. We got chatting with the barmaid, who mentioned she was applying for a job in a psychiatric specialty, which happened to be exactly what I worked in. I helped her to get the job, and she became my lodger. Her rent saved my house. Now, Was this manifestation? Absolutely. But notice what I wasn't doing. I wasn't trying to feel abundant. I wasn't visualizing money. I wasn't affirming my wealth. This is what I mean by effortless money manifesting. And if you want to understand exactly how this works, make sure you check out that free masterclass I mentioned. The link is in the description. Here's what I learned. You can't manifest from a place of internal conflict. When you try to feel rich while being broke, you're literally fighting with reality. And reality always wins. The universe or life or whatever you want to call it doesn't need you to feel abundant to bring you abundance. What it needs is for you to stop blocking the flow with internal resistance. Think about it this way. If you're trying to hear a quiet song playing in the next room, but your own thoughts are shouting over it, what do you need to do? You don't need to shout louder positive thoughts. You need to let the mental noise settle. That's what happens when you stop trying to feel rich while broke. You stop the internal argument between what you're trying to feel and what you're actually experiencing. In that quiet space, solutions can emerge. I've seen this pattern over and over again in my own life and in the lives of people I've worked with. The breakthrough doesn't come from trying harder to feel abundant. It comes from letting go of the effort altogether. So what does this look like practically? It's beautifully simple. Stop trying to feel what you don't feel. If you're in debt, acknowledge it. You don't have to like it, but stop pretending it's not there. If you're worried about money, notice the worry without trying to place it with fake gratitude. This isn't about being negative, it's about being honest. And from that honest place, you can simply ask, what would help here? Not how can I feel abundant, but what would actually help? Then, and this is crucial, let your mind settle. Don't try to figure out the answer, just ask and let go. Trust that solutions exist even when you can't see them. Let me emphasize this point because it's a trap I fell into time and again, and I know many others fall into it too. If you try to figure out the answer, what are you using? What's the tool you're deploying? Yep, your brain, your intelligence, which is awesome. Let's make no mistake about that. But it's the wrong tool for this job. If it could have solved your money issues, it would have done it by now. Problem most often is that we don't realize we have an amazing backup system, which is access to immense universal wisdom. And because we don't even know it's there, we just tend to drown it out with more and more of a blizzard of thinking. That thinking just goes round and around the same circles because where else could it go? And never comes up with a solution because it's trawling your memory banks, your knowledge database, and so on. Wisdom isn't its strong suit. In fact, it's not wise at all. It's very, very intelligent, but wise? No. So that's what you let go of, all the noise in your head. And you let go of it in the simplest possible way. You simply notice that it's going on. You don't need to fix it or change it or try to make it stop. Just becoming aware that it's happening separates you from your thoughts and it will stop all by itself the way all blizzards do. Maybe not instantly, perhaps not even for a day or several. It's just a thought storm and it will pass. I know this might sound too simple, but that's the point. Manifesting money isn't complicated. We make it complicated by trying to control the process instead of allowing it to unfold. The paradox of manifestation is this. The moment you stop trying so hard to feel abundant, abundance can actually find you because you're no longer fighting with reality, you're flowing with it. Try this for just 1 week. Stop trying to feel rich while broke. Instead, simply acknowledge where you are and ask for help. See what shows up. And if you want to dive deeper into this effortless approach to money manifesting, I've put together that free 10-minute masterclass that reveals the 3 key principles I use to allow money to flow naturally into my life without visualization, without affirmations, and without trying to feel abundant when you're not. It's called Effortless Money Manifesting, and you can access it right now by clicking the link at the top of the description below this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon in another video.